Okay, I thought since there were so many different things pointed out on the motor, I'd do a little video here. I'll try to keep it brief and try not to get too dizzy and get you guys sick. But let me get a light here. Just show you what I've got going on. I made some room in the shop. It's kind of tight in here so that I could work here in the winter. But essentially, as was pointed out, the valve cover does not look to be correct. At least this doesn't look to be correct. They should say MG. And then I saw some other issues that I'll get to in a minute. The tappet cover, let's just sit here. The tappet cover was incorrect. And if I take this off, what I've got, the bolt, and it looks like it may be on in this position, where I thought I could flip it like this and it would be on in the correct position like this, but it's pointed the wrong way. So as Barney pointed out, I've just got the wrong tappet cover here, I guess for the wrong motor. So I need to get a new tappet cover. Let me pull this out, put this on here. That's where I was doing all my gasket removal. The bolts here just have a flat washer. They don't have a rubber washer, as was mentioned. And then let me get the light in here. And generally speaking, things just look a little bit grungy down in here. I don't know if you can see all that. So it's got fresh oil in it now. Here's the blanked fuel adapter people were talking about. It's got a grounding strap on it. Stamped 1500. So I don't know if I'm looking at a later 1500 model, or maybe somebody put an MGB or a midget one in. The serial number 15GB UH 35308. From what I read, I don't remember exactly where, but that's too late of a serial number to be in a 58 MGA. So it does look like somebody's moved something. I do have a tack, somebody asked. Mechanical, it appears. At least that's what I think. But this doesn't seem right to me, that it's loose in here. But I'm not sure what to make of that. I haven't done any research on that yet. The previous owner put in a stainless steel muffler and pipe. Got that disconnected and plugged. As well as all these plugged up so I don't get anything on it. But let's take a look at this. I was just keeping it covered so nothing got in here. If I come over here and I look, Barney talked about there's a plastic grommet. So that appears to be metal, and there's a cut metal washer there, and then the screw. But what was concerning to me was from the top things looked okay. When I turned it over, you can see right there that is all busted out. And it appeared to be plastic. Now that could be rubber, and that could be the grommet that he's talking about, which I think would be in the parts manual, would be this piece right here, I think. So if that's the case, I just need to get a couple of those. I did find a little piece of it down in the tappet cover, which is concerning. I felt around right down in here, and I felt it right here and got it out. I felt another piece over here and got it out. And I've got some gasket left over here. So what else have I got going in here? They don't have the regular, according to the manual for the fuel connect, the banjo connection of the carburetor. It looks like the previous owner put in a fuel filter there with some hose. And I repaired the dip switch, which I'll show you in a few minutes. And I thought that rain or water had gotten down over here and leaked down through the holes underneath the wiper motor. But now I'm thinking that what's more likely to have happened is the master cylinder at some point leaked. And so it peeled up the paint. You can see that it ran down here. It got down in the grommet holes over there into the cabin because it's on the frame, and it caused some rust inside there. It doesn't appear to be bad, and it's just surface rust. Nothing is rusted through. I'll look in there in just a minute. Somebody also pointed out that my heater core, I don't believe it has a heater core because there's no heater exchange pipes here. So I think this is the air only option. But without taking it apart, I wouldn't know. I've got the wrong dipstick, according to Barney. And let's prop that right there. If you look down here, a little concerning to me, you see how that tube is moving? I tighten that, and that's as tight as it'll go, but it still moves, so that's a bit concerning. It only drops down. I don't hear it clunk onto the bottom of the sump, so that's off. It's above the max line. I've got it jacked up, so that's not accurate, but most of the fluid in there should be toward the back, so when I lower it, I wouldn't think that it would come, I would think it would come up, not go down. So I'm going to have to mark new lines, get a new dipstick, figure all this out, because I don't know how long this has been driven incorrectly. I put in the top down oil filter, did a pipe connection over here. I got my oil pressure. I believe that's what that is, oil pressure gauge in there. My brake switch is down there. Everything on this side looks a lot cleaner than the other side. Shocks all seem good except for this one and a bounce test. That one tends to be a little looser, so I'm probably going to have to get that one rebuilt. I'll probably do the pair of the front. Radiator to me looks, I'm no expert at this, but it looks to be an original or a original one for this car, whether it is the original one. Fan belt shows some wearing right there, so I have to adjust that. Haven't done anything with the coil. I believe this is a Lucas, not generator, but drawing a blank. Whatever came in the car, I can't remember what the name is. Shock's okay down there. So if I look under from the front, I don't have any horn, even though I've got a horn button in there. If I get under here, it just looks kind of greasy and whatnot. I don't see any obvious issues that cause me a great deal of concern other than cleaning things up. Obviously the bushings could be replaced on here. I need to grease everything. The steering works fine. I mean, I can move it by hand with no problem. If I look under here, I mean, this is representative of what these look like. I don't see rust issues on the fenders. So wheels are spinning freely. I've adjusted the brakes. Same thing on this side. The outside brake hub is obviously rusty, so I'm going to deal with that. Let me get under here. Still got all my stuff under here. Alright, so next up is to drain the transmission fluid. Maybe replacing this. The sump looks okay down here. I just kind of wiped off all the oil that was splattered everywhere. That boot looks like it may need to be replaced right there. All the floorboards seem to be in good shape. There's not a whole lot of rust. There's some right here, not a whole lot of rust here. And I took yesterday, let me see if I can even film this, to look at the sills. So I can't even see if I'm getting this, but I'll try. All right, so there's, let's see, where are we? All right, right there. Okay, so there's some rust there, but the sills don't have holes in them, which I know was a concern people told me to look at. But it looks like somebody may have put, I don't know if you can tell, a sill over a sill here. Or I don't know, maybe that's the right way, but somebody did some work on this. And it looks like there's some some parts that may not have been totally correct. Now this one looks fairly clean. The other side has some more issues. I mean, it's not bad, but there's some spots in it with holes. In the back, been converted to 12-volt battery, negative ground, and I did check that, not just look at the color. Other battery pack has been removed. This one, I've got my brake line, I've got my handbrake line, and there's the fuel pump down there. There's a little bit of rust along here, surface rust, that I intend on trying to neutralize. If I look under here, get that speaker out of the way. So I've got some rust in here. Most of it's surface rust. This has gotten thin and somebody's made a repair here. I can't tell if that's wood or not. I think that's wood. So this is fairly thin in here. So I want to neutralize as much of this rust as I can. I've got Coroseal that I was going to use, paint it on, try to convert it to a primer. And my air box, it looks blocked off. I don't have these pipes. You can see the top of this is rusted. That's just surface stuff. And wait a minute, that channel doesn't even look connected. Never saw that before. So I've got some stuff to do up here. I need to get the stuff plugged up because that lets a lot of hot engine draft back here. Dash, that light works fine. Looks like everything up here works with the exception of I need to secure the horn, and I don't have a horn. And then I'm fixing the turn signal indicator. I broke that, broke the wire. And the choke is out and should not be out. Oh, I've got it disconnected, that's why. If I look in here, there's the dip switch that I fixed. It was broken. You can see that it's got some play in this bracket because somebody stomped it. I bent it back around until I can do better. You can see the rust back there that I think came across from the engine bay compartment and has contaminated and rusted some stuff in here. So I'll work on that. The doors here, I'm missing a bolt here on this door, and somebody, it looks like they tried to make an adjustment by putting a shim in here. So the doors don't fit great. I mean, they're not bad. I'm not looking for a show car. I want something I can drive around. But if you look, you can see on the line right there, that one's a little bit out at the top. And from the back, you can see it's a little bit out from the bottom. I think it's the same issue over here. It's just wasn't fit well. It's a little bit out at the bottom. The top of this one looks good, but the bottom's a little bit off. And then I was going to look over here. I've got this strapped up here, supporting that. And then if I get in here and look at the sill, so you can see this sill plate has had more problems. Let's see, right there. So you can see that's rusted out. That's the bottom of some aluminum I can see. And if I go down along the sill, I can see that there's rust out there. It looks like they just capped right over the existing one, maybe. And maybe that's what's going on there. They didn't get a good fit. Maybe it was weak. The frame on the inside and the outside, obviously I can't tell from the top, but the frame looks solid all the way around inside and outside. It's just the pieces I can't see that I worry about. But otherwise, things look okay to me. I'm not seeing any problems in wheel wells with rust, panels rusting. any of that kind of stuff. The back, I won't open it because I need another hand, but the trunk had a rust problem. They repaired with fiberglass. It doesn't look all that great. So when and after I ever do a body off restore, I'll deal with that. The only other thing on the hood is this looks all beat up, and I don't know if that's right. It closes. Everything's fine with it when it closes, but I'm surmising that when I'm in a low idle and it's kind of rumbly, the hood vibrates a lot. It's bouncing around here, and it's really this spot. And I'm surmising that having it up like this is causing a little bit of a bow here, so it's a little bit warped, and it gets down here and it's shaking along here. So I got to figure that out. Glass is okay, but it's got some scratches, so I get some sun flare. Looks like some stuff is deteriorated along here that holds the glass in, but otherwise it looks solid. And when they put this thing back together after painting, they didn't do the best with the whelping. You can see where it buckles here. I get a little bit here. If you look down the line, you can see some of that. And I've got some dirt all in here, and the paint's not the best. It's got, looks like somebody did a job at home. So there's blemishes all over. And when and if, so you can see right here where I'm talking about. When and if I ever decide to pull the body off, I'll address it and get a good paint job on it. So that's what I'm dealing with. If you are seeing something out of the ordinary in this engine, because there's some debate with me and on the forum about which engine this is and what's not right, let me know, because I'm going to have to get some parts to at least get this thing back to totally working condition. I wanted to take it for a drive Thursday because it's going to warm up some, but it doesn't look like I'll be able to. So that's it. I appreciate everybody's help on this.